Yatra yatra raghunatha kirtanam tatra tatra kritamastakанjaliം బాష్పవారి పరిపూర్ణలోచనం మారుతిం నమత రాక్షసాంతకం. Yesterday morning, Venkateshwara temple, Bracknell, we had a lecture. Topic is Heart of Sundarakanda. In that we saw three characters in Sundarakanda represent three principles. In fact, the whole of Sundarakanda is only to present these three characters. These are the major characters, and one who reads Sundarakanda to its depth can see only these three characters in Sundarakanda. One, Sita Devi, another one, Hanuman, third one, Rama. And these three represent three principles. Sita represents Jivatman, Rama represents Paramatman, and Hanuman represents Guru. Yesterday we had a time only to cover two principles, Sita Devi and Ramachandra, Jivatman and Paramatman, divine and devotee. But the third principle is also a very important principle, acharya, Guru, and Hanuman represents this Guru. Vedanta Deshika, in his beautiful drama, it's an allegorical drama named Sankalpa Suryodaya, shows Hanuman as Guru. Adyatve Hanumatsamena Guruna Prakyapitarthaf Puman. Guru Prakyapitarthaf Puman. So if you take Hanuman as Guru, then all Guru lakshanas should fit into Hanuman, right? What are the lakshanas of Guru? In fact, lakshanas, how to translate? Qualities you may poorly translate, okay? Lakshana can be translated poorly as quality. When you come to Ramayana, even the very first shloka of Ramayana talks about Guru Shishya Lakshanas. Anybody of you knows the first shloka of Ramayana? Any of you? Okay. Sorry? Yes. Konvasvinukku munnadi modal shloka. Tapaswadhyaya niratam. Yes. Konvasmin is the second shloka. Right. So, nice. Tapaswadhyaya nirata is the first shloka. The first shloka describes Guru should have tapasya, and the Guru should have shastric knowledge, swadhyaya. Guru also should have eloquency, it says, Vagvidamvaram. And the Guru should have a deep meditation, Munipungavam. These are the lakshanas dealt in that first shloka. And all these attributes, all these qualities are attributed to Maharshi Narada in the first shloka. So Ramayana starts with the great acharya, that is Narada. Anyhow, in Yuddhakanda, there is another shloka which describes the qualities of Hanuman, which the great commentators say these are Guru Lakshanas. Ata samskara sampannaha Hanuman sachivottamaha. This shloka says two qualities of a Guru. Samskara sampannaha, he has good samskara. Guru should have good samskara. To have good samskara, he should belong to a Sat Sampradaya. Siddham Sat Sampradaye Sthiradhiyam Anagam Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. So, Hanuman belongs to a great sampradaya. He has good samskara. This is the first lakshana. Second lakshana, this surprises us. Hanuman Sachivottamaha. Sachivottama, he is the best servant of Rama. So, this is Guru's second lakshana. Guru has to be a servant. This is very interesting. We think generally Guru should have a garland, someone will come and garland, and so many, we have to bow down to Guru, we have to serve Guru. That is how we all think. But Valmiki Ramayana says Guru has to be the best servant. Hanumanu Sachivottamaha. Servant to whom? Servant to Lord Rama. Hanuman, no doubt, the whole of Ramayana is the best servant of Rama. Hope you all know the 9 types of bhakti. Sravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Padasevana. These 9 types of bhakti are told in Bhagavatam, Bhagavata Mahapurana. And there is a shloka which gives example for these types of bhaktis. Parikshita Bhavatu. In listening to the stories of Bhagavan, Parikshit is the best example. And narrating the story of Bhagavan, Shuka is the best example. Prahlada Smarane. Prahlada is best example for remembrance of Bhagavan, Smarana. That's how the shloka runs, giving examples for all 9 types of bhakti. Definitely, the one who composed this shloka has to be a very great connoisseur of Bhagavata Mahapuran and Krishna Leelas. That is why he is taking every example from Bhagavata. Even there, when he comes to Dasyam, he takes example from Ramayana. See, whether he is a Krishna Bhakta or a Rama Bhakta or any Bhakta, as soon as Dasya Bhakti comes, he remembers naturally Hanuman. This is interesting. This is interesting. Such a very great and matchless servant Hanuman is. And he is a great acharya here. Let me give an example. Ramanujacharya, who is highly qualified even to comment the whole of Brahma Sutra. Such a yogyata he has, such a qualification he has. That kind of Ramanuja, do you know what he was doing in Kanchipuram? Such a great scholar, such a great philosopher. Every day he sincerely did Tirtha Kainkaryam in Varadaraja Swami temple. Tirtha Kainkaryam means bringing water in a vessel from a well to the sanctum sanctorium. With a very great devotion and sincerity, he performed it morning, afternoon, and evening. He is the acharya, but he prefers to be a servant to Varadaraja Perumal. This is what we see. So, a guru's main qualification is the service. This is interesting. In fact, I don't want to go into that because it's a small deviation here. Even the very Lord himself. Who is the Lord here? Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra himself is a servant. Jaya Jaya Muni Gana Mandala Dasa. He prefers to be a servant of his own Ayodhya people. And when he was exiled, he prefers to be a servant of the rishis in Dandakaranya. That's interesting. So, what is the qualification of a leader? To be a servant. Who can be a better leader than Rama? And his first quality is to serve. The same way, this great acharya, Hanumanji, Hanuman remains as a servant to Rama. This is what we see. And you see, service was not looked down. That's very important. This lecture, when I entered to this campus, our Hariharam was chanting Purusha Sukta. In Purusha Sukta, there is a passage, Brahmanasya Mukamasit Vahu Rajanya Kritaha Uru Tadasya Yad Vaishyaha Padbhyam Shudraha Ajayata. This is a mantra in which these four classes of people come. In fact, the Veda here never calls even as classes. Neither it calls as communities, nor it calls as a caste. Just to pronounce as four words, that's all. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Whether they are castes or classes or communities, all those things are later interpretations. Okay. For the first time, the word Shudra comes in the Rig Veda, in the 10th mandala. Before this, nowhere the word has come. So you need to you should not understand this passage from the text which came later, from communist point of view, from some other point of view, or from Christian point of view, or even from the later texts of Hindu Dharma point of view. First of all, for the first time, these words are coming. Vaishyaha, Shudraha. Of course, the word Vishaha was there before. And in few places in the Rigvedic text, the word Brahmana comes. But the word Shudra comes for the first time in the fag end of Rigveda. So, you keep these words as they are. Don't interpret them as community or caste or class or clash. Okay. And what the word Shudra can mean in Rigveda? Vedena Vedo Vigyayaha. Only through the Vedic passages we can understand the meaning of the Vedas. In that sense, if you go through Shukla Yajurveda, there comes Swaya Charanaya Cha. Shudraya Swaya Charanaya Cha. Here, from this passage, we can cull Shudra in the Rigveda could have meant servant, one who performs services. That's it. Okay. So, in the context of Shudra, of course, Valmiki also tells in the same way. Shudraha Swadharma Nirataha Trin Varnan Upacharinaha. So, a servant. And nowhere in the Vedas, servant is looked down. The whole of Rigveda, which contains more than 10,000 verses, in the text, nowhere servant is looked down. The word Shudra has the meaning of servant. This we understand through Shukla Yajurvedic passage. Padbhyam Shudraha Ajayata. Okay? And now, let us again see the word. Here, this Shudra, in the personality, in the cosmic personality, Shudra is considered to be the feet of this cosmic personality. Cosmic personality is nothing but Vishwarupa or Virat or Vishnu. And Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are taken to be the limbs of Vishnu. Kshatriya is taken to be the arm of Vishnu. Brahmana, the mouth. Vaishya, the thighs. And Shudra, the feet. In later ages, after the emergence of various prejudices in the human society, people started to think that mouth is superior to feet. The Vedic seers did not have those ideas. They don't know which limb is superior to what limb. Nowhere in the whole of the Veda confirmed. Okay. Generally, I am well known for giving sweeping statements like this. The whole of the Veda, you can check, whole of the Vedic mantras. Nowhere, no limb is taken to be superior or inferior to any other limb. Please understand this. So you can't judge these mantras with the eye of later texts. That has to be understood. Then why Sudra is taken to be the feet? Charanam. This charanam or feet cannot be misunderstood as inferior. It cannot be, because in several other places also charanam becomes a symbol. In the Vedic mantra, charanam is Shudra. In Ramayana, charanam is Hanuman. Okay. Of course, I am now coming from Guru Paduka. So I have to talk something about Guru Paduka. Okay. Her house name is Guru Paduka. Just telling for your information. If a feet is considered to be very inferior in Hindu tradition, a house cannot be named as Guru Paduka. And today, the whole lecture, morning and evening, is about Guru Paduka. Because Hanuman is taken to be, what is Hanuman's name in Shiva Vaishnava Sampradaya? Thiruvadi. Hanuman is Thiruvadi, Paduka. என்னைக்கு இது நம்மாழ்வார் திருநட்சத்திரம் வந்துடுத்தா வரப்போறதா? இன்னைக்கு என்ன தேதி? Only first, okay. 9th, June 9th is Nammalvar's Tirunakshatram. Tirunakshatram means birthday. Nammalvar Jayanti. Nammalvar is also called as the feet of Lord. By the way, Nammalvar is a Velalar, which means a Shudra. Okay, the first acharya in Visishtadvaitam, Nammalvar, is a Velalar. We need to understand this. Okay. And Nammalvar is taken to be the lotus feet of Lord Ranganatha. And when we go to have the risen of the Lord, they keep upon us the feet of the Lord, which is called as Shatari. Shatari is the name of, yes, Shatakopa, Shatari is another name of Nammalvar. If you go to Nammalvar's shrine, there also Nammalvar's lotus feet will be kept upon our head. There you can't call it a Shatari, because Shatari means Nammalvar. What is the feet of Nammalvar? Yes, it is called as Ramanujam. And if you go to the shrine of Ramanujar, again Ramanuja's lotus feet is kept upon our head. It is called as Mudaliyandan, Ramanuja's disciple. You see that Guru Parampara, these great stalwarts, they want to become the lotus feet of their Guru. So feet cannot be inferior, please understand. Feet is not an inferior symbol. This Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra in Dharma Shastras, they are called as Varnas. In Varnas, if Shudra is feet, we should see this in a holistic way. Among ashramas, do you know which ashrama is feet? Sannyasa. And that is why it is called as Pada, Prabhupada, Sri Charana, Adi Shankara Bhagavat Pada, Madhva Bhagavat Pada. When you translate it in Tamil, Adigalar, Ramalinga Adigal. Why? If this is inferior, why this adigal comes to sannyasa? Why charana or pada or adigal comes to sannyasa? Feet is taken to be a very great thing in our tradition. Okay. It was not viewed as inferior in the Veda. First of all, we should have this basic understanding. In the Rig Veda, Shudra is taken to be feet. In Shiva Vaishnava Sampradayam, Hanuman's another name they give as Thiruvadi. In Ramayana, every character is given some other, can I call it as nickname? No. Some with paribhasha they add a name. With the reverence they add a name. Like they don't call Bharata as Bharata. They call him as Bharadalvan, Guha Peruman, Ilaya Perumal. Whose name is this? Lakshmana. Perumal. Whose name? Rama. Thiruvadi is Hanuman. Thiruvadi means Hanuman. And later they thought, first Thiruvadi means Hanuman. That's all. Later they thought, there is another Vahana for Bhagavan. Who is that? Garuda Bhagavan. Garudalvan. Therefore, let us call him also as Thiruvadi. So he is just definitely senior. Therefore, we can call him as Periya Thiruvadi. He is Periya Thiruvadi and Hanuman is Thiruvadi. In Sri Vaishnava texts, normally the Pamara, ignorant people who are not aware of the text, they may call Hanuman as Siriya Thiruvadi. But in Sri Vaishnava text, he is not called as Siriya Thiruvadi. He is called as Thiruvadi, that's it. Hanuman is Thiruvadi, Garuda is Periya Thiruvadi, that's all. Coming back to the point, why Shudra is called as feet? That question is unanswered. Question remains. In the same Veda, in the same Rig Veda, just before few suktas, few chapters, there is a mantra, Moolam Yatudanasya Vrascha. In that mantra, the great commentator, acharya, comments the word Moolam as feet. Moolam literally means foundation, but he comments it as feet, which clearly shows that in the Vedic passages, feet are perceived to be foundation. Okay. And every limb is a symbol in the Veda. Feet is a symbol of two things. When you go through this mantra, Moolam Yatudhanasya Vrascha, there the word Moola is not only foundation but also feet. Point number one. Even this is not a very popular mantra. If you want to take some popular thing, I hope that several of you perform Vedic rituals. In our Vedic rituals, when we take some darba grass, we say Agram Madhyam Moolam, Agram Madhyam Moolam, Agram Madhyam Moolam. There is when the priest says Agram Madhyam Moolam, the time of Agra, the top of that grass has to be touched. Madhyam, middle point. Moola, the end point. So Moola is foundation, Moola is the end point, Moola is the feet. That you need to understand. Okay. So why Purusha Sukta calls Shudra as feet? This is because Shudra Dharma is the foundation of the whole society. When I was going through the Veda, I clearly wanted to know what exactly Veda means through this. Okay. With my open mind, while I went through it, just before a few suktas, I saw this mantra, Yatudhanasya Vrascha, Moolam Yatudhanasya Vrascha. Why can't we interpret with that, this one? This is one thing. And coincidentally, Vayu Purana gives this meaning too. I saw Vayu Purana only later. Vayu Purana says Shudra is the foundation of human society. That is why he is called as the feet of the Lord. Okay, this is one thing. Next thing, feet is a symbol for another thing in the Veda. There is another sukta which explains how all these limbs become symbols of some abstract concepts. There, feet is a symbol of movement, charana. Okay, you see, in Sanskrit, the word charana has two meanings. One movement, another one feet. Charagatau. Okay, that's very interesting. So it is movement. It is also feet, and movement again has another meaning. What is the meaning of movement? Treading in a good path in life. Okay, that is why charana. Charana is going in a good path. All these things are connected. This charana is an archetypal word. Archetypal word. So, here all these things fit with Thiruvadi, our Thiruvadi, Hanumanji. Hanuman fits for all these things. Serving and going in a good path. Yesha Padam. See, is coming something like a blossoming, unfolding one by one. The lotus blossoms petal by petal. Okay. The epic, the fifth book of Ramayana, what is that? Sundarakanda, starts with the word Padam. Thiruvadi. The first shloka. Yesha Padam Anveshtum Charana Charite Pati. So it is very much right to call Hanuman as Thiruvadi. Yesha Padam Anveshtum Charana Charite Pati. Hanuman, Yesha. How to translate? I want an exact translation. I can say resolves. Hanuman resolves. But it is not just resolving. Resolving with passion. Is there any word in English for that? Resolve. Huh? Not transform. Resolving with passion. A passionate resolution. That is Yesha. Okay. Yesha means a passion. Hanuman takes a passionate resolution. Yesha Padam Anveshtum Charana Charite Pati. Regarding what? Regarding searching for his pada in space, because he is going to cross the ocean. He is in search of his pada, means movement in space. Here the pada is movement. Pada also is feet. Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pati. The path in which charanas travel. Charanas are mystics. Mystics generally travel in sky. Levitation. Okay. Hanuman resolves to travel through the path, tread through the path in which mystics travel. This is a very external and exoteric meaning. But the internal meaning, Hanuman tries to travel through the path which is treaded by the charanas. Charanas here is the great acharyas, the noble souls who travel in a good path. Therefore, they are called as charanas. Charanasya ime charanaha. Okay, those who travel through the good paths are called as charanas. They are none other than acharyas. Hanuman tries to travel through that path of the great acharyas. Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pati. Point number 1. Point number 2. where he wants to fly through the through the ocean, in the sky, right? In the sky. I am remembered of another thing. Shankaracharya in his commentary, in 3 or 4 places he says, searching for Brahman is none other than searching Brahman. Shankara says a very interesting observation: searching for Brahman is like treading or finding the path towards Brahman. The path towards Brahman is like finding the footsteps of a bird in a sky. Okay, you please connect all these things here. Yesha padamanveshtum charana charite pathi. Okay, that makes this Thiruvadi, Anjaneya Swami. He is the lotus feet of the Lord because he plays the role of the lotus feet of the Lord. Sudura Sankramam, Rama journeys, his journey is very, very long here. From Panchavati to Pampa. In modern language, from Maharashtra to Karnataka. Rama journeys in search of Sita. Valmiki calls it as Sudura Sankrama. Very long distance he journeys. But in Pampa, in the bank of Pampa, he meets Hanuman. After meeting Hanuman, Rama never walked at all. Rama wishes to walk, but Hanuman doesn't allow him to walk. Hanuman plays the role of the lotus feet of the Lord. Hanuman carries Rama to Sugriva. Then from Rishyamukha to Tamil Nadu, Tirupullani or Rameshwaram, Hanuman carries Rama. And again Hanuman carries Rama to Lanka. Even in the war, Hanuman becomes a vehicle for Rama. And finally, after the destruction of Ravana, Rama comes to Ayodhya through Pushpaka Vimana. After the arrival of Hanuman, Rama never walked. Rama never walked. That's interesting. So, always Rama prefers to, on seeing Hanuman's wish, is very important. On seeing Hanuman's wish, Rama prefers to get seated on the shoulders of Hanuman. Rama is always in Hanumadvahana. Hanumadvahana is a Sanskrit word. In Kannada and Telugu we call as Hanumantavahana. Okay. Coming back to the point, the service of Hanuman is extremely important. And it is a right topic here because when I come to this place, on the way I saw this road is called as Guru Ramdas Road. I don't know who named this road in that way. I saw the board here. Guru Ramdas Road. Ramdas is none other than Hanuman, servant of Rama. So here we have this topic. Through the road, Yesha Padamanveshtam. Through the path of Ramdas, we have come here to talk on Ramdas further. Let us talk on the path of Ramdas now. Okay. Next to Rama, who is the hero in this epic? Hanuman. No doubt. No doubt. Ramayana is an epic of heroes. Day before yesterday, somewhere I said Mahabharata is an epic of heroes. Now let me tell you, Ramayana is an epic of heroes. And here, next to Rama, immediately we remember Hanuman as the hero of this epic, even though he comes only from the 4th book, Kanda. He fulfills the whole epic. We feel as if he is in the whole of the epic. Very interesting thing. Nowadays, generally in literature, the modern writers are very proud. You know, they are very proud because they say only in this modern era and also in postmodern era, we write a lot about common men, common folk. Before some 200 years, everybody used to write only on kings and queens or gods and goddesses. We write about common men. We write about attendants, servants, autowalas and rickshawalas. Okay. What is that called as? Fatfatwalas and tuk-tukwalas. So this is a thing. They are proud of it. And they should be proud of it. I'm not telling that is wrong. But long back, before some 700 years, we have here a Tamil book, Periya Puranam. It has various chapters. And every chapter's Pattudai Nayakan, you may call as hero. Yeah. Every chapter's hero or Pattudai Nayakan is a common man. Okay. In that way, in a devotional literature, equality, Samadharma is established. The whole of Periya Puranam is about the common folk. It talks about a potmaker. There is a potmaker story. And there is a hunter story, Kannappa Nayanar. And there is a laborer's story. All these stories are found in Periya Puranam. And these small stories, they have, what to say, a chapter is dedicated for a particular person who belongs to a particular occupation. What is common among all these persons? Shiva Bhakti. Shiva's devotion is common among all these persons. This is interesting. But they are all common persons. They are not kings and queens. Shiva is common among all. Shiva is the unity in diversity. Here. And followed by this Periya Puranam, next to Periya Puranam, Bhaktamal came. Following Bhaktamal, Bhakta Vijayam came. Bhakta Vijayam again is also a very wonderful magnum opus. Every chapter is dedicated to a common man. Tukaram is not a king, even though we call him as a Maharaj. We become, see, Varkari tradition makes common men as Maharaj. Long before the constitutional democracy of India, here in Bhakta Vijayam, we see a spiritual democracy. Who are the Maharajs? Tukaram Maharaj, Jnaneshwar Maharaj. Who was this Jnaneshwar Maharaj? An ordinary boy, thrown out from the society. He was hated by the whole village. But that boy is Maharaj. Is Maharaj. And he is a Sampradaya maker. Now we have Varkari Sampradaya. The first acharya of this Varkari Sampradaya, when you go to his life history, is after all downtrodden. And he was hated by those villagers. Because he was a sannyasin's son. Okay. Sannyasi may have a son. Is it right or wrong is a different topic. Different topic. If it is wrong, then it's a problem of the father. Why the son has to be hated? But the whole village was hating the son after the death of that father. But this great soul, Jnaneshwar, this boy, he lived only for 21 years for your information. That is why I can call him as a boy. If you see the picture of Jnaneshwar, you can see the innocence in him. Okay, he was a small boy. He lived only for 21 years. And he wrote this great Vedantic text named Jnaneshwari, probably at the age of 16. Probably, maybe even younger than that 16. Okay, he wrote this text. And based on this Jnaneshwari, the whole of Sampradaya came, Varkari Sampradaya. And he is called as Jnaneshwar Maharaj. The great souls like Sant Namadev, Sant Tukaram, they all prostrate before Jnaneshwar Maharaj, a small boy of the age of 21. And the great Namadev, again Namadev Maharaj, Sant Tukaram, Tukaram Maharaj, all Maharajas have vanished in our democracy of India now. Who are the real Maharajas? They are determined long before in Varkari tradition. Now the Maharajas are the normal human beings, Sant, saints. Tukaram is Maharaj, Namdev is Maharaj, Kora Kumar. Kora Kumar is a pot maker. Sant Ravidas or Raidas is a cobbler. A chapter is dedicated for a cobbler. Another chapter is dedicated for a pot maker. Another chapter is dedicated for a barber, Senanavi. This is how the whole of Bhakta Vijayam runs, pages after pages. Okay. A literature of common men. Okay. Okay. You go back to the epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Who is the hero of Ramayana? One, Rama, no doubt. But Rama is a king. Who said Rama is a king? When Rama becomes the king, the story ends. Evam etatu puravrittam. This is how the story ends, Valmiki says, after the coronation. Finished. Ramayanam idam kritsnam. With coronation ceremony, I have completed, Valmiki says. So you can't call Rama as a king. Rama may be born in a royal lineage, but again he was thrown out. The whole life history of Rama, which Valmiki is painting, Valmiki is showing to us, nowhere he became a king. He remained only as a forester. Ravana ridicules Rama, taking him to be a forester. Ravana says, oh, this fellow was thrown out from the kingdom by his own father. He was excommunicated. His father knows that he is unfit, therefore he threw out. This is in the language of Ravana, you can describe Rama in this way. Valmiki picks up only that Rama and narrates his story. He did not, only in last few verses he talks about kingship of Rama. Somewhere I gave a topic, leadership qualities of Rama. Okay. With me, someone is coming in a car, he was driving. He was telling, you have today taken a very challenging topic, he said. What is challenging about it? I asked. Then he responded, no, he becomes a leader only at the end of the story. He becomes a king only at the end of the story. I was laughing at him. I smiled and said, Nagarasto vanasto va tamno raja janeshwaha. This is what Valmiki says. Whether he is in kingdom or in forest, he is a king. Because kingship is not attributed or imposed upon him. Kingship is innate in him. Leadership is innate in him. Whether he is a forester or if he is a prince of Ayodhya, he is a king. In the same way, When you take Mahabharata, okay, let me come to Mahabharata a little later. The same Ramayana, Sri Ramachandra is the hero. Who is the second hero? Hanuman. At least Rama is a lord. Okay. Here is a servant. Who is a hero? Okay. Servant is hero who indwells in our heart up to our times. Yesterday only I said, there are few characters in the epics who continue with us. All other characters are dead. They don't continue in our culture. Sugriva doesn't continue. Okay. And Drishtadyumna doesn't continue. Krishna continues with us. Today also, the devotees talk to Krishna. They worship Krishna. They play with Krishna. Krishna is a flow, continuing with us. In Ramayana, there are so many characters. Only few characters continue. Among those continuing characters, Hanuman is extremely important. Hanuman is taken to be Chiranjeevi. You can take any character who continues in our culture as Chiranjeevis. If Hanuman is Chiranjeevi, you can take Draupadi also as Chiranjeevi, because Draupadi continues in Tamil Nadu. Draupadi Amman Kovil. Draupadi Amman Thimidi. Draupadi culture is not only temple. Draupadi's story is narrated in Draupadi Amman Kovil. Draupadi Kuttu, what is that? Thirukuttu. Thirukuttu is there. People talk to Draupadi. I quoted something yesterday. I know those people nearby our village. Okay. Who enact Mahabharata. Mahabharata is enacted in Draupadi Amman Kovil just because it is a story of Draupadi. Not because of Dharmaputra, Bhimasena, so on and so forth. It is a story of Draupadi, therefore we enact. And Draupadi is Parashakti. Aivarukkum sondamillai. In the Atta, Arukkum sondamillai. Bhubaram Pokavalle. In the Atta Adi Parashakti Andro. Dum 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 dum. In our village, Tirukuttu, Mahabharata happens. Okay, in Draupadi Amman temple. This even Sita Devi is described as Parashakti by Subramanya Bharatiyar, you know. See, she has another dimension, he says. I am not remembering that passage of Subramanya Bharatiyar. It comes like this. I am not exactly quoting. There can be some mistakes, pardon me. Indirasittanai irandu tundaha mudittavil yarudayavil. எங்கள் அன்னை பயங்கரி ஆதிபராசக்தி ஆரிய ராணியின் வில். This is what Subramanya Bharatiyar says. Whose bow is that bow which finished Indrajit? Muditta will yarudaya will. And it is the bow, it is the willpower. It is the will of our Adiparashakti, that is none other than Sita. Kalaratri titam vidhi sarvalanka vinashini. Even Valmiki says that. Sita is Kalaratri, be aware. Hanuman frightens Ravana by telling this. Okay, why I have come to Sita? Just before this, Hanuman. Hanuman, the second hero of Ramayana, is not a very great lord. He is a servant. A servant, through his grandeur, is a hero. The same way in Mahabharata, the most important person of Mahabharata, extremely important person of Mahabharata, the Lord Krishna, who is the incarnation, the divine incarnation, who is Bhagavan, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, who is Bhagavan. that Bhagavan is not a king. Throughout his life, he never became a king. And whenever kingdom came to him, he refused to take it. Okay, after killing Kamsa, he could have become king of Mathura. He did not become king. And he, by his hard work, made Dwaraka. There also, he did not become the king. And he won Narakasura. He coronated only Narakasura's son there, Bhagadatta. He did not become the king in Pragjyotish. He killed Jarasandha. He could have taken that kingdom and he could have become the king of Magadha. But he installed Jarasandha's son as a king. The whole of Mahabharata war was conducted by Krishna. After conducting this Mahabharata war, he could have become the king of Kuru Desha. But he did not do that. He installed Yudhishthira as the king. He is not the king, but the kingmaker. Okay, but who is he after all? He was a cowherd boy. Not he was. He is a cowherd boy because Krishna's leelas are Nitya leelas. I said right? It continues in our culture. Even now, Krishna is seen as cowherd boy. Krishna loves to. This is what Andal says. If you call Krishna as universal Lord and all, he is little hesitant. His face becomes little dull. But if you call Krishna as cowherd boy, he becomes extremely happy. Andal says this. Andal says this. So, in this way, Krishna is a cowherd boy. Even when he has built this great Dwaraka, even after that, Krishna remains as a charioteer of Arjuna. Krishna remains as a messenger of Pandavas. Krishna never becomes a king throughout his life. So Krishna prefers to be an ordinary man. Okay, though his works are extraordinary, that's different. That's different. He prefers to be an ordinary person. Euphemistically, I said he is an ordinary person. Why to hesitate? Krishna wishes to be a servant. Okay, Sachivam, Dutam, Sauhurdat, Atasarathim. Charioteer is a servant. Messenger is a servant. Krishna plays these roles. Okay, he wants to be a servant of Yudhishthira, who is none other than Dharmaputra, which means Krishna wants to be a servant of Dharma. Okay. Here in Ramayana, probably Ramachandra, on seeing Hanuman, he could have thought, how wonderful Hanuman is. He is wonderful because his role of a servant is wonderful. So in my next birth, let me also take that role. In that way, on seeing Hanuman, Krishna starts to take the role of messenger and a charioteer. Hanuman is also a charioteer, right? He may not be a charioteer, but he is a vehicle carrying Rama. The same Krishna does. Same Krishna does. Since Hanuman is in Vanara form, he can become a vehicle. Since Krishna is a human form, he plays the role of a charioteer. So whatever Hanuman does in Ramayana, on seeing all those things, Ramachandra is highly pleased with Hanuman. Let me also take those roles and play those roles. In the next epic, he comes as Krishna and plays all these roles. Shri Anna says here, Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal, our Guru and my father, he says, how Bhagavad Gita starts. Asochyananva sochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashase. When Arjuna is getting confused, up to 12 o'clock, right? 12:30. because it's just going as a free flow. I'm not seeing the time, and I don't know whether I have come to the topic at all. Whatever comes in my mind, I'm just talking. What Asocyananva sochastum pragyavadamscha bhashase. Krishna, when Arjuna is getting confused, perplexed, Krishna gives the message of Vedanta to Arjuna. Self is beyond adjuncts, self is ever pure, self is not touched by all these filthy things. This Vedantic clarity Krishna gives to Arjuna. How it starts? Asocyananva sochastum pragyavadamscha bhashase. When Tara, the wife of Vali, is crying on seeing Vali in deathbed, Hanuman voluntarily comes to Tara and consoles Tara. There he gives Vedantic message. The message given by Hanuman and the message given here in the Gita are one. If messages are one, it's not a wonder. Even the dictions are one and the same. Here in Mahabharata, in Bhagavad Gita, it starts with Sochya Sochasikam Socyam. Asocyan Anva Sochastam. In Ramayana, Hanuman starts his Vedantic message with Sochya Sochasikam Socyam. Dinam Dinanu Kampase. See, even the dictions match. Shri Anna takes this and explains. Hanuman gives a message of Vedanta to Tara. Ramachandra is witnessing. And in his next birth, in his next incarnation, having that in the mind, Krishna starts his Vedanta deliberation to Arjuna. Of course to Hanuman too, because Hanuman is the top. The flag, right? And Tyagaraja Swamigal is singing Gita Shastramulagu, Gitarthamulu, Gitarthamulu, Sangeetarthamulu. That song, that composition of Tyagaraja Swamigal. Okay. The whole of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says whether Arjuna understood it or not. Tyagaraja says, I am sure that one who is sitting in flag understands everything. Okay. So this Hanuman, and I'm just comparing a comparative study of Hanuman and Krishna, the great heroes of Ramayana and Mahabharata. They are not kings. Neither Hanuman is a king, nor Krishna is a king. Both of them are messengers. One is vehicle, another one is charioteer. In that sense, both of them are servants. The service they rendered is matchless. They are selfless workers. By the way, they are volunteers. Okay. They are not employed. They cannot be employed. Okay. They are independent servants. Okay. They are totally independent. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is absolutely independent. Absolutely a liberated soul. The most liberated soul of the world. Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Nothing can fulfill him because he is already fulfilled. Yet, he is under service. He is at the service for dharma's sake. Dharma is the most important thing in the world. Krishna proves. I incarnate for the sake of dharma. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. For the same dharma's sake, Hanuman is working here. Okay. Hanuman says that. Where? In the 30th chapter of Sundarakanda. Yuktam tasya prameyasya sarvasattva-dhayavataha samaswasayitum nyayaha sita darsana-lalasaha. It's my prime duty to console this Sita Devi. Sita Devi is about to commit suicide. Hanuman is sitting on the tree. He plans to console Sita. There he feels, it's my prime duty to cheer or motivate or console Sitamma. Why? Because she is the true well-wisher of Rama, the greatest well-wisher of Rama. And here in this context, Hanuman gives a word. My prime duty is to console Sita Devi, the soul and the truth and the best well-wisher of the best and the soul and the true well-wisher of universe. Understood? This is what Hanuman says. Sarvasattva dayavataha, one who showers the grace and the compassion to all beings in the world, is Rama. And his well-wisher is this Sita. So, either we should be working for universal welfare, or we should work for the aspirer of universal welfare. In this sense, now here I am. My prime duty is to boost Sita Devi, who aspires the welfare of the aspirant of the universal welfare. This is a statement of Hanuman. What a wonderful thing. The vision of Hanuman. Why to serve Rama and why to serve Sita? Here he brings the concept of dharma. Brings the concept of dharma. And this service is the prime duty, not prime duty, prime lakshana of acharya. Hanuman sachivottamaha. So to serve, we need all the dexterities, capabilities, power, might. Hanuman has these multiple qualities. In fact, Hanuman is a holistic character. Hanuman has all skills. A hero may represent one skill or one quality. If someone is humble, he may not be valorous. He may not be mighty. Another one is extremely mighty. He will not have humility. Hanuman has both humility and might. Very strong man. Hanuman is very strong, very mighty. But how he stands in a temple. You go to Hanuman temple, I think he is the only God who stands with clasped hands. To whom he is clasping his hands? Definitely Rama, no doubt. But not only Rama. Sasuryaya Mahendraya Pavanaya Swayambhuve Bhutebhyascha Anjalim Krutva. Valmiki says. He is clasping his hands to whoever comes to have darshana of him in the temple. See, the God is receiving all of us with clasped hands. When you go to the temple, Bhutebhyascha Anjalim Krutva Chakara Gamare Matim. In front of Rama, if you install Hanuman, Hanuman is clasping his hands to Rama. But there are various Hanuman temples where Hanuman stands independently with clasped hands. He is the only God who clasps his hands on seeing his darshanarthis. In fact, this comes in Rig Veda, for your information. a very famous sukta, Vishwakarma's sukta. விஸ்வகர்ம சூக்தம் இருக்கா பாருங்க அந்த இதில் நெட்டில். அதில் ஒரு வார்த்தை வரும், யோ ஜுஹ்வத்துன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ரிஷிஹி யஹா ஜுஹ்வத்து. That is how the mantra comes. I am not exactly quoting. Yo juhvat means after creating the whole of the world, on seeing the beauty of the world, Creator pays homage to the creation. This is exactly opposite of what you find in Abrahamic religion. While I was traveling in a car, in front of me I saw another car where it is written, don't worship creation. Worship alone, worship Creator alone. Okay. Worship Creator but not creation. Here is a Rigvedic passage which says, even the Creator worships his creation. See the contrast between these two religions. I'm not telling which is better, which is right, no. Just comparing. Just comparing. Yeah, I'm just quoting. I have given the meaning. Yes. Ya ima vishwa bhuvanani juhvat. Juhvat is worship, honoring. Okay. Juhvat is yajna. Okay. After creating all these worlds, the Lord, universal Lord, worshipped, being himself a rishi, being himself a hota. Hota means worshipper again. Ya ima vishwa bhuvanani juhvat rishihi hota nyasidatu pitanaha. He is our father. Pitanaha. Sa asisha dravinam ichamanaha. Pratamachat avaran avivesha. In this way he honors and enters into the whole world. Okay. Avivesha. Very, very peculiar kind of religion. This Hindu religion. This entering into the universe. God entered into the universe. Every form and name of nature is the expression of God. All these things can be seen only in Hinduism. That is why this Hindu religion is called as nasty by others for all these things. And we enjoy all these things. In every name and form we see his manifest. Why his? How can we call him as his or her or it? I don't know how to call. We see the manifestation of the divine everywhere. Avaran avivesha. After creating all these things, he entered into his manifestation. He performs yajna. He worships this creation. Something like, yes, Thapati, after creating a deity through the metal, first he clasps his hands by seeing his own art. By seeing his own art. Okay. So, creation, creator. Yeah. Where I left. How I linked this with Hanuman. Hanuman, with clasped hands, receives all his devotees. Why? Because Valmiki just says, Bhutebhyascha Anjalim Krutva, that's all. He clasps and sees all the beings around. This is what Valmiki says. But Tulsidas adds, Siya Ram Maya Sab Jag Jani. Seeing the whole world as the manifestation of the divine couple, Sita and Ram. A devotee of Rama clasps his hands to all the beings. And Hanuman is that. Hanuman clasps his hands in that way. So, That great Hanuman, on one hand he has humility, on the other hand he has might. His might is matchless. Just as a single person he entered into Lanka, and without the notice of anybody, he searched nook and corner of Lanka to find Sita. He found Sita, and he fought with Akshakumara, Jambumali, and 5 commanders in chief. Single handedly, he managed all these things and he entered into the cave of the lion. Who is the lion here? Ravana. And threatened this Ravana and returned back. This is a great job of Hanuman, which shows his matchless might. Such great Hanuman is very humble. Sita is crying, "My dear Hanuman, you are extremely powerful, therefore you have come here crossing the ocean. But how all other Vanaras are going to cross?" Hanuman says, "You don't know, my dear mother. I am the least person there. Mattaha pratyavarah kaschit nasti sugriva sannito. All other Vanaras are mightier than me. Okay. I am very weak. I am a puny fellow. If I can come to you, then think of all those great Vanaras." This is what Hanuman says to Sita. That kind of humility he has. This is seemingly contradictory elements: humbleness and valor. The same way, another oxymoron you can see in Hanuman. What's that? Intelligence and emotion. Okay. He is extremely intelligent. Even intelligence has 2 dimensions: scholarship and intelligence. Hanuman is a very great scholar. Even Rama is astonished after listening to the words of Hanuman. In front of Rama, Hanuman talks in Sanskrit. Okay. And Rama is amazed on hearing the words of Hanuman. Rama praises the scholarship and eloquency of Hanuman to Lakshmana. And this kind of eloquency reveals that he is a very great scholar of Vedas and Vedangas like Shiksha and Vyakarana. He says, "Nunam Vyakaranam Krishnam Anena Bahuda Shrutam." He is talking in a classical language. Okay. He is talking in a classical language in a flawless way. To talk an uncouth language in a flawless way is very easy. But to talk in a classical language is not an easy thing. Even to talk in Tamil is difficult. Because Tamil is a classical language. Who says Tamil is a classical language? In Tamil, classical language, how to translate classical language into Tamil? Semmozhi. They say Semmozhi, classical language. 2 oldest languages of India, Sanskritam and Tamil. Very old. Coming back to the point, here is a very interesting interpretation. Dvijatiriva Samskritam, Manushimiha Samskritam. Even the word Samskrita means classical language. Samskrita, the literal meaning is cultured. Samskara is culture, Samskrita is cultured. Okay, cultured language. When Hanuman approaches Sita, in what language Hanuman talked to Sita? Good guess. Who said? Yeah, we may, while we read quickly that chapter, we may take it to be Prakritam. But Valmiki Valmiki avoids the word Prakritam. Prakritam means uncouth language. Here, this Hanuman is thinking, in what language I can talk to Sita Devi. He is thinking. If I talk in Dvijati Samskrita, I exactly uses the word used by Maharshi Valmiki. If I talk to Sita Devi in Dvijati Samskrita, then she will think me as, she will mistake me as Ravana, because Ravana's mother tongue is Dvijati Samskrita. Therefore, let me talk in Prakrita. No. The word Prakrita never comes here. Therefore, let me talk in Manusha Samskrita. Okay. To Sita Devi. Both Hanuman and Sita know Manusha Samskrita. Both of them know Dvijati Samskrita too. That is why he has two choices. But he avoids Dvijati Samskrita here because she will mistake him to be Ravana. Lot of information here, which means Ravana's mother tongue is Dvijati Samskrita. Okay. So let me resolve to talk in Manusha Samskrita. This is what Valmiki says. But how to interpret what is Dvijati Samskrita, what is Manusha Samskrita? Let me give two interpretations. It is your choice to choose. Okay, I am not choosing here. Even I have not yet chosen. Two interpretations I can present in front of you. One, Sri Narayana Iyengar's interpretation. Dvijati Samskrita is the classical Sanskrit, the popular Sanskrit which we have now, in which Valmiki Ramayana is written. And Manusha Samskrita definitely has to be, according to him, Manusha Samskrita definitely has to be Tamil. Because of a simple reason. Why can't it be Prakrit, you may ask? If it is Prakrit, then Valmiki would have used the word Prakritam there. Why should he use Manusha Samskrita? The word Manusha Samskrita. Therefore, it is Prakrit, Pali, these things are rolled out. Okay. And can it be Apabhramsha? Again, Apabhramsha is another form of Prakrit from which Hindi came, Magadhi, Ardha Magadhi, all these things came. So all these languages are rolled out. Several other languages were not at all born at that time. Of course, Hindi itself is very new language. So it has to be Tamil. Okay? Hanuman talked to Rama in Sanskrit. And Hanuman talked to Sita in Tamil. This is one answer for Manusha Samskrita and Dvijati Samskrita. Okay. Dvijati Samskrita, which means, Dvijati means Brahminical. Brahminical Samskrita. And Manusha Samskrita means normal other human beings. Okay, their Samskrita. One is Tamil, another one is Sanskrit. This is how this is interpreted by Sri Narayana Iyengar. In his book named, you know that book? You answered Tamil. You know that book? Book's name is Vanmeegamum Tamilum. He wrote a book named Vanmeegamum Tamilum. What are all the Tamil impacts and imprints in Valmiki Ramayana? He discusses on that. Some Tamil proverbs are there in Valmiki Ramayana. Okay. About that he is discussing. And there was a very great Tamil poet named Valmiki too. Okay. In Purananuru, the most ancient text of Tamil, Purananuru. In that, a philosophical poem was written by a very great sage called Valmiki. Is that Valmiki and that Ramayana's Valmiki, are they one? All these kinds of discussions he is bringing in that book, Sri Narayana Iyengar. Before reading that book, while I was going through Ramayana, I was a small boy at the time. I understood this Manusha Samskrita and Dvijati Samskrita in a different way. I did not take Manusha Samskrita as Tamil. Dvijati Samskrita is a Chandasa. Okay. Dvijati Samskrita is Chandasa. Manusha Samskrita is Samskrita. Chandasa means archaic Vedic language. Veda has its own language, which is called as Chandasa. Okay. And Valmiki calls this Chandasa as Dvijati Samskrita. Normally in Agraharams of those days, this Chandasa was spoken. Therefore, it is called as Dvijati Samskrita. See, it's an interesting thing. Some people doubt Mahabharata to be older than Ramayana, which is wrong, of course. Just by the peripheral glance, you can understand that Ramayana is older than Mahabharata. Let me give a very simple reason. Once in 4 chapters in Mahabharata, somewhere, somehow, Ramayana characters will come as allusions, as similes, as metaphors. When Bhimasena takes his mace and stands, Vyasa says, he resembles Hanuman with mountain. So many things from Ramayana comes in Mahabharata, but in the whole of Ramayana, not even a single place contains the characters of Mahabharata. This itself is enough to show that Ramayana is older than Mahabharata. There are so many reasons to show how Ramayana is older than Mahabharata, but there are some researchers who get deluded. Okay. They say that Mahabharata is older than Ramayana because of a simple reason, but vital reason. Personally, I asked a researcher, why you call Mahabharata older than Ramayana? He's a very famous researcher. I can tell, his name. N.S. Rajaraman. You may be aware of him. He also belongs to Bangalore. Nice scholar. He said to me, this is because there are several chapters in Mahabharata who have Vedic language. Please understand. Who have that Chandasa language. See, predominantly Mahabharata is in classical Sanskrit, not in Vedic language. Very few chapters are in Chandasa style, in Vedic language. Very few chapters. By this, you can't determine Mahabharata to be older than Ramayana. Since Vyasa is a Vedic scholar, deliberately he might have adopted Vedic language for a few chapters in Mahabharata, point number 1. Point number 2, if you observe what chapters have Vedic language in Mahabharata. Let me tell you an interesting thing. The chapters, the conversations which happen in Agrahara, they are in Vedic language in Mahabharata, which means in any Agrahar, in any Brahminical community, Chandasa was spoken on those days. Chandasa means nothing but Vedic Sanskrit. You just think in this way. A very old kind of Sanskrit. Okay. Even the scholars of classical Sanskrit may not understand Vedic language, Chandasa. You need a special kind of training to understand Veda even after learning Sanskrit. Similarly to Tamil also. How many Tamilians are here? Raise your hands. Yes. You cannot understand Kamban's Tamil. What's the meaning of Kadaravu Padalam? Kadal Thavu Padalam. Now you understand. Tamil, Kamban's Tamil, you can't understand. Yesterday I was talking to a Maharashtrian. He was telling, our mother tongue is Marathi, but we don't understand Jnaneshwari. Jnaneshwar's work, we don't understand. See, I understand, Appa, I'm a Tamilian, I understand. You don't understand. You may understand because you are a Sanskrit scholar. Jnaneshwar, Jnaneshwari is Sanskritized. Point number one. Not only that, we read Jnaneshwari more than them. I'm not talking about all Tamilians. Okay. Since we are inclined to Panduranga and this Varkari tradition, we read Jnaneshwari more than them. We read Ramcharitamanas. So when we take Ramcharitamanas, we understand. Those who are not familiar with Ramcharitamanas, even if they have mother tongue as Hindi, they can't understand Ramcharitamanas. Even Thirukkural cannot be understood because it's a very old language. Okay, existing Tamil is little different from that ancient Tamil. Can you understand Purananuru? No. It's an ancient language. It is an ancient language. In the same way, you may be a very great Sanskrit scholar, you can't understand the Veda. To understand Veda, you should learn that Sanskrit, that early Sanskrit. Okay, that early Sanskrit by Panini is called as Chandasa. The modern Sanskrit is called as Samskrita. These are the two languages, two dialects of the same language. Please understand. Chandasa and Samskrita. These are the two dialects of the same language. And here, Valmiki, through the word Dvijati Samskrita, denotes Chandasa. Manusha Samskrita, through that, Valmiki denotes the popular Samskrita. The whole of Valmiki Ramayana is in Manusha Samskrita because he is writing for the common people. He is not writing in Dvijati Samskrita. This is my view. Okay, my view. This was my view. Later I read Narayana Iyengar and gave up my view and also did not take Narayana Iyengar's view. In these two, something may be right. It's not deterministic. Who can go through through time machine and understand all these things? It is not decided. Okay, nobody can decide it. Manusha Samskrita, Dvijati Samskrita. Hanuman is expert in both the languages. That's important here. If you take Chandasa and Samskrita as interpretations, Hanuman is expert in these two. If you take Tamil and Sanskrit, in that way. In fact, Kamban tells like that. Kamban says Hanuman is a scholar of both languages, Tamil and Sanskrit. This is what Kamban says. In fact, he talks about Rama also in that way. In that way. Hanuman's scholarship, Hanuman's eloquency, Hanuman, not only scholarship, Hanuman's intelligence, how Hanuman plans. As soon as he enters into Lanka, he is standing upon the Lamba mountain. The mountain is named as Lamba. Lamba mountain. He is seeing Lanka. Lanka is upon the mountain Trikuta. Even now there is a mountain named Tiriguda Malai in Lanka. This Trikuta Shikare Lankam Sthitam Swasto Dadarsaha. Okay. He is watching this Lanka from Lamba mountain. Various kinds of plannings are coming into his mind. Strategies are coming into his mind. As soon as we think of Hanuman, we are reminded of his courage, bravery, valor, might, so on and so forth. But after crossing this huge ocean, Hanuman stands upon Lamba mountain and sees Lanka. What was the first feeling of Hanuman? Maharshi Valmiki says, he fears. Can you imagine Hanuman fearing? Hanuman was afraid. Who dares to tell that? neither Tulsidas nor Kamban can tell like this. Okay. This is called as negative capability in English literature. Do you know a gentleman, S.T. Coleridge? He writes about it. Negative capability. A truthful reporter has to record both the strength and the weakness of heroes and villains. Okay. Valmiki dares. Valmiki dares to write what Sita spoke to Lakshmana when Rama went to chase the deer. Tulsidas trembles. He can't write. He's a devotee, soft-hearted. Just in a passage, he will tell. Sita spoke some harsh words. That's it. Finished. In fact, even that he couldn't write. Therefore, he makes that Sita an illusory Sita. Real Sita went into fire. Some illusory Sita has come. She is talking harsh words to Lakshmana. This is what Tulsidas says. And later at the time of fire ordeal, after the death of Ravana, the real Sita comes from fire, illusory Sita goes back to the fire. All these things Tulsidas says. He couldn't talk about the separation of Rama and Sita at all. He can't talk like that. He cannot talk how Sita spoke to Lakshmana in what harsh words. He can't talk. He is a devotee. Valmiki is a rishi. Okay, he's not a devotee. He may have devotional elements. That's a different thing. And Tulsidas also can have rishi elements. That's a different thing. But what defines Tulsidas and what defines Valmiki? Being a rishi, Valmiki or Vyasa, even Vyasa of Mahabharata, has to be a very objective reporters. That's all. They are very objective reporters. And this is a very, very important thing to consider the epics as itihasas, histories. They don't hide anything. As soon as Hanuman landed on Lamba mountain, the first feeling Valmiki, without a least of hesitation, records Hanuman fears. Wow, such a grand city with such a great security. Who can enter into it? If I stand in my huge farm, Rakshasas may destroy me. Vinashamupayasyami. Hanuman thinks like that. We can't digest. Valmiki narrates as it is. Whatever feeling comes in the mind of Hanuman. And how Vanara army is going to manage these Rakshasas. All these thoughts are flowing in his mind. Oh, let us conclude with this fear. Just 5 more minutes. After these contemplations, a chain of thoughts, Hanuman further thinks. Samikhyasa Mahabahu Raghavasya Parakramam Lakshmanasya cha Vikrantam Abhavatu Pritiman Kapihi. Contemplating on the might of Rama, strength of Lakshmana, and the strength of his own self, he is satisfied that he feels that this Rakshasas can be conquered. After that only he enters into Lanka. All these things are recorded by Maharshi Valmiki. And this has to be taken as a quality of a warrior. Fear is also a quality of a true warrior. Because a warrior has to know his own threats and opportunities. Okay. A warrior should be capable of valuing the strength of his foes and enemies. That we need to understand. Foes. That is why Hanuman in several places, not only in this place, in several places, honors Ravana. The same Hanuman hates Ravana for his filthy activities, like abducting others' wives. But at the same time, Hanuman honors Ravana for his might, not only for his might, and also for his scholarship, so on and so forth. Okay. He has his own great features. In fact, he has a very wonderful in-group morality. Hanuman. Sorry, Ravana. Ravana may not represent universal welfare. That's a different thing. He is no way in front of, okay, he has nothing to do with this universal welfare. Who? Ravana. But he is excellent in in-group morality. There is a term named in-group morality in psychology. Okay. Ravana is excellent in that. The medieval history, our own country is like this. They are excellent in in-group morality. Okay. They are very decent, very gentle, very noble, very kind, helping each other. But what they did in Africa or America, what they did in India, that's something different. We all know. I need not tell about it. It's a history. What to do? அந்த காலங்களை கடந்து வந்தாச்சு. இனிமே அதை பேசணுங்கிறது இல்லை. We have come out of it. But anyhow, that was a history. Okay. Long back. Or just before a century. That was a history. Excellent in in-group morality. The same way, Ravana is excellent in in-group morality. How he kept Rakshasas. He made his city golden. Probably the most developed city of the world. Richest city of the world. But that Ravana, was he representing universal welfare? A very big question. Dharma is universal welfare. Okay. Dharma is beyond all these nonsenses like prejudices, so on and so forth. Did he stand for that? It's a big question. But even in group morality, for that we can have some respect, which Hanuman has to Ravana. Or even Rama himself has to Ravana. That's a different thing. Okay. Hanuman's quality, one of the qualities of a warrior is to know his threats. This is what Hanuman does here. Therefore, it is not wrong. Don't take this to be the weakness of Hanuman. Coming back to the point, Hanuman is the repository of seemingly contradictory things: valor and humility, intelligence and emotion. You see the matchless intelligence in Hanuman, and you also can feel the emotions in Hanuman. No other person is fit in Ramayana characters to be a perfect messenger between Sita and Rama. This is purely emotional. You need to understand the emotions of Sita Devi as they are, and to exactly convey these emotions to Rama. The same way, exactly the emotions of Rama should be conveyed to Sita. Sita is drowning in the ocean of misery, and gradually Sita has to be uplifted. The whole thing is of emotions. Please go through those chapters of Sundarakanda. Conversation of Sita and Sita and Hanuman run for some 15 chapters. At the end also, Rama-Hanuman conversation runs for some 4 chapters. If you go through those chapters, different kinds of emotions, how Hanuman is giving counseling, Hanuman is softening those emotions, how Hanuman is handling those emotions. This is called as, in management, this is called as emotional intelligence. How to handle emotions. There's a very important element of HR, which we can learn from Hanuman. In this way, Hanuman is the repository of several seemingly contradictory elements, features, qualities. So we can call Hanuman as holistic. We can go on talking a lot about Hanuman. If it is India, I will talk about Hanuman for 9 days, 10 days and all. Here, now let us, with this, we will conclude about Thiruvadi. And the next session at night, we are going to continue with the same Thiruvadi, Paduka Pattabhisheka, and another dimension of Thiruvadi in Ayodhya Kanda, that is Bharata's devotion. We are going to talk about it in evening session. Dhanyavadaha.